Have you ever imagined an entire train disappearing without any clear explanation? Imagine passengers buying tickets and beginning an ordinary railway journey together. The train leaves the station exactly as everyone expects that morning. Then the train never reaches its final destination or another station. No confirmed wreckage, no survivors, and no clear answers are discovered. Stories about disappearing trains have fascinated people for many generations worldwide. One famous legend is known as the Zanetti Train mystery. According to the story, a train vanished during a journey in Italy. People still debate whether this strange story actually happened or not. But every famous mystery begins with an ordinary day. According to the legend, the story began during the early 20th century. A railway company organized a special trip for excited passengers together. The journey was planned as a pleasant sightseeing adventure through Italy. The train carried passengers, railway workers, and several crew members aboard. Everyone expected enjoying the beautiful countryside during the comfortable journey. Families, friends, and travelers looked forward to reaching their destinations safely. Nothing seemed unusual before the train began moving along the railway. The weather appeared calm, and the railway tracks looked completely normal. Nobody expected the journey becoming one of history's strangest legends. Then the train approached a long railway tunnel ahead. The railway tunnel stretched through a mountain along the planned route. Passengers watched the entrance becoming larger as the train moved forward. The locomotive entered the dark tunnel exactly as every train normally would. People expected the train emerging from the opposite side moments later. Instead, something strange supposedly happened inside the mountain tunnel. According to the legend, the train never came out again. The railway line continued beyond the tunnel without any obvious damage. Workers searched the area but reportedly found nothing unusual nearby. The train seemed to have completely disappeared from the railway forever. The mysterious story quickly spread across different communities. People struggled believing such an impossible event could really happen. How could an entire train simply disappear inside one railway tunnel? The tunnel contained only one entrance and one exit for trains. Investigators expected finding the train somewhere along the railway tracks. However, according to the legend, no train appeared anywhere afterward. The passengers, crew, and locomotive all vanished together completely. The story became more mysterious as additional details appeared later. Some versions claimed 2 frightened passengers escaped before the disappearance happened. These witnesses supposedly described unusual events near the tunnel entrance. Their strange story made the mystery even more unbelievable. According to later versions, the 2 passengers jumped from the train. They claimed seeing an unusual white mist surrounding the tunnel entrance. The strange fog reportedly frightened them before entering the mountain. They decided leaving the train because something felt completely wrong. Moments later, They watched the train disappear into the darkness. The locomotive never emerged from the opposite side of the tunnel. Their strange account became an important part of the legend. However, historians have questioned whether these witnesses ever existed. Reliable historical records supporting their story remain extremely limited today. This is where history and legend begin mixing together. Many people enjoy mysterious stories involving disappearing ships and airplanes. A disappearing train seems equally mysterious and equally impossible today. However, historians carefully examine extraordinary stories before accepting unusual claims. Many famous mysteries change while people repeatedly tell them over decades. New details often appear even without strong historical evidence supporting them. The Zanetti Train story became more dramatic through many retellings worldwide. Books, television programs, and Internet articles repeated different versions frequently. Each version added new mysteries and surprising details for audiences. But an important question still remains today. Did the mysterious Zanetti train actually disappear in real history? Or did people create an unforgettable legend that continued growing afterward? Could the entire story have started from misunderstandings and imagination instead? Many researchers have spent years searching for reliable historical evidence. Their discoveries surprised many people interested in mysterious historical stories. Some answers supported the legend, while others challenged everything completely. The truth behind the disappearing train may surprise you. The story of the disappearing train spread across many different countries. People repeated the mystery through books, newspapers, and television programs everywhere. Each new version added exciting details that attracted curious audiences everywhere. Soon, many people believed the strange event had truly happened. The Zanetti train became one of history's most famous railway mysteries. However, historians wanted finding real evidence supporting the remarkable story. They began carefully searching railway records from early 20th century Italy. They hoped discovering documents describing the missing sightseeing train. But the investigation produced a surprising result. Researchers searched newspapers published during the supposed disappearance period. They expected finding reports about hundreds of frightened family members searching. A missing passenger train would become enormous national news immediately. Police, railway officials, and journalists would investigate such an event carefully. Families would demand answers about their missing loved ones quickly. Government officials would organize large searches across the railway system. However, historians found no reliable newspaper reports describing such a disaster. No official investigation matched the famous disappearing train story either. The lack of evidence created serious questions about the legend. Researchers also searched official railway company records from that period. They examined passenger lists, schedules, maintenance reports, and transportation documents carefully. A sightseeing train carrying many passengers would leave numerous official records. Tickets, employee reports, and railway schedules should confirm the journey. However, historians found no convincing evidence supporting the famous story. No railway company reported losing an entire passenger train mysteriously. No insurance records described such an extraordinary transportation disaster either. The historical evidence remained surprisingly quiet about the famous legend. This suggested the story might not be completely historical. Some experts believe the legend slowly developed over many decades. Different storytellers may have combined several unrelated railway stories together. Small details gradually became larger with every new retelling afterward. This often happens with famous mysteries passed between generations orally. People naturally enjoy adding exciting details to unusual stories gradually. Eventually, legends sometimes become difficult separating from real historical events. The Zanetti train may have followed exactly this unusual path. The mystery became larger while historical evidence became increasingly smaller. Yet the story still contained another fascinating chapter. Several versions claimed the missing train appeared in different countries later. According to these stories, witnesses reported seeing an unusual old train. Some claimed the mysterious train appeared many years after disappearing completely. Others believed the train somehow traveled through different periods of history. These strange claims transformed the railway mystery into science fiction. People began discussing time travel instead of ordinary railway accidents. The legend became even more popular because of these dramatic additions. However, historians found no reliable evidence supporting these extraordinary reports. The mystery continued growing despite the missing historical proof. Another popular version involved a hospital in Mexico years later. According to the legend, confused people suddenly appeared without clear explanations. Some storytellers claimed these people arrived from the mysterious train. They supposedly believed they still lived decades earlier during history. This dramatic story fascinated readers across many different countries worldwide. However, careful researchers discovered important problems with these remarkable claims. The hospital records supporting this story could never be verified. No reliable historical documents confirmed the extraordinary events actually happened. Again, legend appeared stronger than historical evidence. Historians therefore reached an interesting conclusion about the famous mystery. The Zanetti train probably belongs more to folklore than documented history. It remains an entertaining story rather than a confirmed historical event. That does not make the legend completely unimportant or worthless today. Legends often reveal how people imagine impossible mysteries and adventures. They also show how fascinating stories survive across many generations. The disappearing train became famous because people loved asking impossible questions. What if an entire train simply vanished forever? Even today, millions of people continue reading about the Zanetti train. Books, websites, videos, and documentaries repeat the mysterious legend regularly. Some audiences enjoy the story as historical mystery entertainment together. Others understand it mainly as an unforgettable piece of modern folklore. Both groups continue keeping the famous disappearing train story alive. The legend survives because mystery captures human imagination very strongly. People naturally wonder whether impossible events could somehow become real. But what can we actually learn from this strange railway legend? The mystery of the disappearing train continues fascinating people around the world. Many readers immediately ask whether the strange story really happened. Others simply enjoy imagining such an impossible and mysterious adventure together. The legend has survived because people naturally love unexplained historical mysteries. Stories without clear endings often remain memorable much longer than ordinary events. The Zanetti train became famous because nobody could easily prove everything. Some people believed every detail while others remained completely skeptical throughout. The debate itself helped the mystery survive for many generations afterward. Sometimes unanswered questions become stronger than simple answers. History contains many genuine mysteries that remain unsolved even today. Ships disappeared without clear explanations during dangerous ocean voyages. Explorers entered remote places and never returned home safely again. Entire communities suddenly disappeared from historical records unexpectedly. These real mysteries make fictional legends seem more believable sometimes. People begin wondering whether another impossible event might also exist. The disappearing train fits perfectly into this pattern of mysterious stories. It feels unbelievable, yet strangely possible inside human imagination. That feeling explains why millions still remember the legend today. Modern researchers encourage people examining extraordinary stories carefully and patiently. A fascinating story should always be compared with historical evidence first. Newspapers, official documents, and eyewitness reports often reveal important facts. Reliable sources help separate history from imagination and popular folklore. This careful approach protects historical truth for future generations everywhere. It also teaches valuable lessons about critical thinking and investigation. Extraordinary claims require strong evidence before becoming accepted historical facts. The Zanetti train reminds people why evidence remains extremely important. A great mystery should inspire curiosity, not blind belief. Even without historical proof, the legend still offers valuable entertainment today. Readers imagine passengers sitting comfortably before everything suddenly changed forever. They picture the train entering a dark mountain tunnel quietly. Then they imagine complete silence after the locomotive disappeared mysteriously inside. That powerful image remains unforgettable for almost everyone hearing the story. Simple ideas often become the strongest legends across different cultures worldwide. A missing train becomes far more memorable than ordinary transportation history. The mystery continues because imagination fills every unanswered question naturally. Everyone creates a different ending inside personal imagination. Some people imagine the train discovering a hidden underground world instead. Others imagine the passengers traveling into another period of history mysteriously. Some believe another unknown dimension somehow opened inside the tunnel briefly. Others prefer believing the entire story was only imaginative fiction. Every explanation reflects human curiosity about unknown possibilities beyond understanding. People enjoy exploring impossible ideas without expecting completely certain answers. That enjoyment keeps mysterious legends alive through many generations continuously. The greatest journeys sometimes happen inside human imagination alone. Today, historians generally agree the Zanetti Train lacks reliable historical evidence. No official railway documents confirm the famous disappearance actually happened. No verified passenger lists support the remarkable adventure either. No trustworthy newspapers reported such an extraordinary transportation mystery then. Most experts therefore classify the story as modern folklore today. It remains one of the world's best-known railway legends nevertheless. Its popularity proves people never stop loving unforgettable mystery stories. History and imagination sometimes travel together surprisingly well. The legend became more famous than many real historical events. Whether true or fictional, the story leaves one unforgettable question behind. What would you think if a train never reached another station? Would you search for scientific explanations or mysterious possibilities first? Would you believe witnesses or trust only official historical records? Different people answer these questions in completely different ways today. That diversity of thought keeps interesting discussions alive for decades. The mystery continues because nobody can completely erase a powerful legend. Stories often survive much longer than the people who first created them. And perhaps that is the real mystery after all. The Zanetti Train may never have disappeared in real history. But the legend certainly traveled across the world successfully. It crossed generations, languages, books, documentaries, and countless conversations everywhere. Millions of people still discover the mysterious story every single year. The train may not have vanished from railway tracks forever. Instead, it entered something even more powerful than history itself. It entered the endless world of human imagination and storytelling. And there, the mysterious train still continues its journey today.